Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video, we're gonna talk about how to generate Fibonacci series using programming, using Java language. Okay, so first of all, what we need to know is what is Fibonacci series and what is the series what are the sequence of number that will be generated, right? So first we need to see that, and then probably we can think about how it can be achieved through programmatically, right? So Fibonacci series, which is as below, it starts with 1 and then followed by 1 and then 2 and then 3, 5, 8, 13, 21 and 34. Okay, it goes on as actually. So if we could clearly see this, if the resultant 2 is summation of these two numbers, and this 2 summation is the next series number, which means the summation of previous two numbers is equals to the next series number. So that's how the Fibonacci series works. Okay, so this is how we're gonna generate the Fibonacci series. Let's see how it can be generated and how it can be used, right? So mathematically, if we could see, this is 1, 1, and the next number is 2, followed by 3, followed by 5, followed by 8, followed by 13, followed by 21, 34, and 55. How the numbers are getting generated? If you could see this clearly, then it is 1 plus 1, which is equals to 2. The next series is 1 plus 1 is equals to 2. And then 1 plus 2, which is equals to 3, and then 2 plus 3, which is equals to 5, and then 3 plus 5, which is equals to 8, and 5 plus 8 is equals to 13. It goes on, right? So if we could clearly see this, how it can be achieved programmatically. So that's the, major question which will come into picture, right? How it can be achieved programmatically. Let us assume that this series which starts with 1 and then 1, so which we need to initialize it. Let us assume that these two are different variables. Let us assume that these are two variables, that is I and J. Okay, so these two variables are I and J. Every time it has to it has to add two numbers which is equals to the next series, which leads to the next series, and then again it has to add these two numbers, and then after adding these two numbers it has to be the next series. So which means you need to add I plus J. Okay, after I plus J, the resultant is next series, which is like this. After adding that, what it has to be changed is the resultant value has to be given for J, and then the J value which is present earlier has to be given for I, which means we are actually swapping the values that is present in resultant value as well as the J value. We are forgetting about the I value now. We are concentrating on the resultant value followed by the J value. Okay, so now after we give these values, that is let us assume that this number is the resultant value. Okay, so this resultant would be given for first the J value would be given for I. Okay, and then the J value would be given as the resultant value, which we are getting it over here, by getting the addition of these two numbers, right? So the series goes in this way. So as we see, it will be like after we swap between the values which is present in the resultant as well as the J, which will be given for J and I, it would be the values would be stored as, now the I value and J value is 1 and 2. So the summation of I and J is equals to 3, which leads to the next series, that is 3. And after this, we're gonna swap with this 3 would be given for J, and then the 2 would be given for I. If you could see, right? And we are, removing the previous number. We are not, gonna use this I value, which is present earlier. We are bothered about the next two numbers only, right? So now After that, the I value and J value is 2 and 3. The summation of 2 and 3 is equals to 5, which is like after that, we need to again, if we want to get the next series, then again, probably we need to swap the two numbers. That is assigning the resultant value to J and then the J value to I. So first we need to assign J value to I and then resultant value to J. The reason behind that is if we give in the left hand side the J equals to resultant, obviously the value that is present in J would be lost, right? So that's where we need to be very cautious while writing, while assigning the values to, for I and J. So that's where we have discussed about swapping of two numbers, right? So now the new value of I and j is 3 and 5, which is summation of 3 and 5 is 8, which is again the values j would be replaced with 8 and I would be replaced with 5, which is summation of now the value of I is 5, j value is 8, and the summation is 13. So it will go in this manner to get the next sequence of series of number. So if we could see this clearly, this is how we're gonna write the logic for the same. And if we could see this clearly, then if you observe this clearly, these two numbers, 1 and 1, these are the primary inputs which we need to provide. And from these numbers, two numbers only, we're going to generate the next sequence of numbers, right? Next sequence of Fibonacci series, right? So this would be I and J, and it has to repeat, like, say, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so we have 10, the series, it started from, 10, or overall it has to generate 10 numbers. In this, we already got two numbers, which is I and j, which means 10 minus 2. The loop has to iterate to 10 minus 2. Okay, if you need 10 numbers in a series, then the loop has to iterate 10 minus 2 because the initial numbers values, that is I and j, which is already initialized, right? So it has to start from either if you can use 0 to 8, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It will go up to 9 times. So it is 0 to 7 or 0 to, 0 to less than 8 till less than 8 not equals to, or 1 to 9 or 1 to 8. That is 1 to great equals to 8. So this is the iteration which we need to do, and in the iteration we need to swap between the resultant value and I value and j value. It has to be replaced with resultant as well as j and I. Okay. So let us see how it can be written, the pseudocode written for this Fibonacci series. The pseudocode for the same is like we have to initialize I with one value as 1, which has to be printed, and j value, which has to be printed. That is again I value and j value is equals to 1. And the loop has to iterate from either 1 or it can start with 0. So the loop has to iterate till 8 times if you want to print the series of 10 numbers. Okay, so inside that, what we need to do is initially we need to add these two numbers, that is temp equals to I plus j, and then followed by we gonna print this temporary number, which is the next series, and then followed by first we need to assign the j value to I, which means I equals to j, and then followed by j equals to temporary variable. So this loop will iterate till the iteration goes till 8 times, and it will print rest of the series, right? And then followed by, if you we put it in the form of programmatically, this how it looks like. Same, just we start with integer I equals to 1, j equals to 1, temporary, and then series equals to 15. So how many series you want to print? Like 15, right? So print I equals to print I, print j, and then followed by, I equals to counter equals to 1, counter less than or equals to series minus 2, counter plus plus. So it will print till 13. Okay. So 1 to 13, which is 13 times. So every time it has to print first temp equals to I plus j, print a temp, and then I value will be assigned, j value will be given for I, and then temporary value will be given for j, right? So this is the logic for writing the Fibonacci series. Don't get confused how it has been written. Okay, so let me pull it in the programmatical way. I have written the same code here, just to put it in I integer I equals to j, I equals to 1, j equals to 1, temporary equals to 0, and then series I wanted to print overall of 10 series, like starting from 1, 1, 2 till numbers as 10 series of numbers in the form of Fibonacci. Okay, so first I am printing I and then printing j, started from 1 and then less than series minus 1. If I give c equals to here, it will go 9 times, and that's where we're going to use series minus 2. Both are same. Okay, so obviously the loop has to iterate 8 times. It's up to us, like, based on this series of numbers, how many series you want to get printed. Based on that, you're gonna reduce it and write it logic. The condition has to be, given in such a way that it has to start from either 0 or 1 or equals to 2, whatever way we wanted to, but the loop has to iterate for 8 times. That is the fundamental, right? If I try to execute this piece of code, if you could see 1, 1 followed by 2, so 1 plus 1 is 2, 1 plus 2 is 3, 2 plus 3 is 5, 3 plus 5 is 8, 8 plus 5 is 13, 13 plus 8 plus 13 is 21, 13 plus 21 is 34, 21 plus 34 is 55. So total of 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, and 10. Overall, the series is 10 times, right? So this is how we're gonna write a logic. So this can be written in different ways as well. This is one of the way and easiest way of doing it. And we're gonna see the how it can be achieved through while loop or do while loop as well, right? Okay, still get confused with the writing the logics. Okay, let me know what program is making you to get confused, right? And thank you for watching. Happy learning.